Alright. So you guys know for the most part that I hardly do One Piece content. Like within the entire span of my channel, I've only done like probably a handful of reviews here and there. I doubt anybody even remembers those reviews, and key moments like episode 1000 or chapter 1000, doing reactions to those. So I would never really consider myself like a One Piece YouTuber, but yo, like I'm just coming out of reading the scans for One Piece chapter 1053 and no, the new emperors, listen to me, dog. This is my raw like impressions coming out of this chapter. I just, like, as I said, I don't really usually do One Piece content like that, but I just had to come out and talk about this because this chapter is like, I think as like a lot of persons in the One Piece community would say, like, uh, one of the things to always look out for is the end of arcs. Like the world building, the lore, the revelations, and all of that. But this chapter, I don't know, like it threw me for a loop. So this isn't going to be a review or anything. As I said, it's just my raw impressions for the most part. So chapter 1053, like most persons were expecting, we did get the new bounties for like Law and Kid and Luffy. And what's interesting is that with Luffy's bounty poster, they've actually published the Gear 5 look to him, when he had his hand on his face and everything. And of course the Gorosei are scrambling because they want to kind of cover up the existence of the Nika, of course. So, and of course the D initial is now on his wanted poster now, so of course that's going to kind of send a lot of persons who know or have a hint of what the D could potentially mean into a frenzy. So I'm interested to see what's that's going to mean, like, for the foreseeable future with a lot of the characters outside of Wano. Especially by the end of this chapter, they say like the state of the world it's all over the place. So yeah, that's interesting. Of course, Law, Kid, and Luffy, they're all 3 billion berries apiece. So interesting. So I think some persons were actually expecting it to be like up there with Kaido, but since this is an alliance that took down Big Mom and Kaido, I guess that's only fear that they don't really necessarily surpass like Shanks or Kaido or Big Mom. I think it's only natural. So that's going to be interesting. And of course we got to see Morgan in this chapter, pushing out the truth, the press. So that was fun. Of course we got to see what Green Bull looks like this chapter, and find out King and Queen are still alive. They're in former Udon prison, all of that. But I think what was throwing me off about this chapter was the fact that even though we got the bounties for Kid, Luffy, and Law, like, in retrospect, looking back at the chapter now, like, of course they didn't really confirm that they were the new emperors when the bounties were revealed. It wasn't until the end of the chapter, and right now I'm wondering if I'm being trolled, because I read the scans for this, right? This is the official release, but can you believe Buggy is an emperor? Listen, I was hearing people joke about it, but I did not imagine this would become a reality. No. No. I feel like I'm being trolled, honestly. No, man, this serious. Like, there were other like crazy revelations in this chapter, but the fact that the new emperors, Luffy, Shanks, Buggy? No. This is more than serious. Sorry, I just feel like I'm being trolled. Honestly. No, brother. So listen, it seems like the memes about Buggy becoming Pirate King is becoming a possibility. Buggy is no. I mean, okay, so we had other revelations in terms of, Odin's father being Tenguyama. That was shocking, and of course he doesn't want Momo to know, which I guess is just a shame of the whole, situation as they put it in the chapter here. But when I got to that part, I was saying, okay, they're saying Pluton's here in Wano, but I'm saying like that Then what does that mean for Alabasta? Because I could have sworn Robin would have read something in Alabasta, but turns out what she read in Alabasta was that Pluton was actually here in Wano. So again, that kind of explains why potentially, you know, the Kozuki clan may have locked off Wano, probably to prevent other factions or, you know, parties from, you know, getting Pluton. So that could be a possibility. And it might tie back into why Kaido, you know, said, I believe it was one chapter when he was fighting against Yamato, and he was saying like, yo, I'm here because it's, you know, Wano. So I'm wondering if Kaido, like now in retrospect, did Kaido have any idea about, you know, Pluton? Because at the end of the day, it's not like Kaido had anyone that could read the poneglyph. So, you know, but it kind of puts things in perspective at the same time. Because, again, you know, we kind of got some Kaido flashback. But in terms of why, you know, Kaido genuinely picked Wano, apart from it being like a natural fortress, we weren't really introduced to any other reason outside of that. So that's interesting. So yeah, a very big deal to say the least. This chapter was crazy if you ask me, and whew, I know we're on a 1 month break as of this chapter, but like I really love what Oda is doing with this chapter, because even though when it comes down to lore and world building and revelations at the end of arcs is, you know, it's usually something to die for when it comes down to One Piece, it usually feels like we kind of, you know, die down to build back up for the next arc. But it seems like with the end of this arc, especially since we're going into the final saga of One Piece, it does seem like Oda isn't really stopping in terms of the chaotic nature of, you know, the story right now, despite that we're having the massive party like we expected. But it just feels like we aren't really slowing down. Like we're still rising in terms of the peak. We had, you know, the whole Joy Boy, Kaido defeated everything, but it's not like we're going all the way down to really build up back for the next arc. Like that's the way this you know, post Wano stuff kind of feels to me. So, and to be honest, I like it. I think it's fitting for the fact that we're going into the final saga. And this chapter was crazy, but going into the outside world eventually after we come back from break is going to be the next crazy thing. So, woo! Yo, listen to me. I still feel like I'm being trolled with Buggy is everywhere. No, bro. Like, I know people expected Luffy. Fine. Like, I think some persons would even go to say probably Luffy and and Law would probably take, you know, Big Mom and Kaido's place. You know, despite them kind of recognizing all three of them as the ones that, you know, broke up, you know, Kaido and Big Mom's long reign over the new world. You know, their sections at least. But Buggy? Like, dogs, I know persons are joking about it, but come on. Yo, seriously. It's just funny to me. Anyway, if you read this chapter, let me know what you thought. Of course, again, this is my raw impressions regarding One Piece 1053. I just felt like I had to just turn on the cam, turn on the mic, and just talk, because this is wild to me. And again, I think with the revelation with Pluton, it kind of ensures Wano, even if we're leaving the island, it's gonna remain in relevance, like, for the foreseeable future in this final arc. You can imagine the final arc, Momo comes in on Pluton for the final war. That's going to be crazy. And that's the next thing. Maybe, just maybe in Odin's journal, maybe Momo realizes that Pluton is actually on the island, and maybe that factors into why he decided not to bother opening the borders of Wano. So, possibilities. Anyway, Sanjay Uchiha, let me know your thoughts. I know there are much more qualified One Piece YouTubers to talk about this than me, but this is what it is. God. I'll see you guys in the next video.